Look who just intercepted this intelligence officer. Here's your look at the brand new Diamond Select G.I. Joe the Baroness PVC diorama statue. A brilliant master of disguise and psychological manipulation, the Baroness is in control of every situation. Her only desire is to watch the world unravel, and she will use her inherited wealth, connections, and skills to make it happen, no matter where she needs to swear her allegiance. This gallery diorama of the Baroness is made of high-quality PVC and features detailed sculpting and paint applications. And just before we look at Destro's darling, I'd like to thank the folks over at Diamond Select that did take the time to provide the sample of the brand new G.I. Joe the Baroness gallery statue that we could have a look at in this review. Following to that, I'm going to grab the old tape measure as I always do, just to tell you guys the 411 of how tall the Baroness statue stands. In this case, the answer I would provide you is about 8.5 inches in height, or it's going to be about 21.5 centimeters tall. First, looking at the display base and what's left of the wall that the Baroness seems to be leaping over top of. The base is quite dark, but considering you have a black-clad Baroness on top of it, I'm glad to see that they found opportunities to add some much-appreciated color. Sure, yes, the display base starts quite dark and gray, and even like the wall as well is kept to very dark, dingy colors. But then around it, they've added some really smart uses of flames. The flames themselves are translucent, starting at orange down below, and they sort of point to the top here in a nice lighter yellow. There's a few places where these flames make appearances, and the places around the flames, they've smartly colored as if it's actually illuminating the areas around it. So while you get more of a darker gray here for the base of it, where the colors, of course, where the flames are, you get more of a lighter color of brown, and that carries nicely also as well to the way they've colored the wall. The coloring of the wall is, again, very dark, very gray. And then you've got little indications there of slime green added in there as well, just to bring in some much needed color. But then again, like around the areas where the bullets have penetrated the wall, you can see a way they've painted the areas of the wall around the flame. So you kind of got this more of a lighter brown color. And that's also carried nicely over to the rusted pipes that are in the front of it as well. Spinning around the display base, while I was expecting, honestly, that the back of the wall would have been just hollow, I was quite pleasantly surprised to see that they actually did finish the back of the wall nicely. I mean, it looks just as good as it does for the front. You can see some really nice additional cracks that they've added in there as well. All this, again, slime that's settled on each of the individual bricks does look really, really nice. Well, yes, obviously, the bottom of the base is going to be quite hollow. This is not probably the part you're going to be looking at the statue anyways. Overall, it's just, again, a nice-looking statue. Of course, then leaping over the wall, I'm guessing as Baroness is getting shot at, she's returning fire. As you can see that she is sporting a large firearm in her hands. I would imagine that would be quite heavy for one arm to be carrying on her own, but yet manages still to pull that off. You got some blast effects, again, as the bullets are being fired off from the end barrel of her gun. It's a nice additional rusted silver, a little brushed on silver is added in there as well, just to add a little bit of weathering to the gun itself. Baroness normally would be a black-clad character, and in this case, they've kept the colors black, but then it seems like they've also added almost a little more of an off-silver color. In fact, actually, when you're looking at the Baroness's suit, you could say a lot of it is contributed to the fact that there's like light shining on this. And obviously, it's not going to be as dark as maybe it would look in the cartoon. But it actually kind of reads more or less like black and almost more like a really dark, dark silver. It's a really nice color. I didn't think I was going to like as much the color, and I was kind of hoping they would have used black initially. But again, like considering that the base is already fairly dark anyways, I think it would be nice to play with a little more of the colors. And I do think like the darker silver works quite well here for the Baroness. Let's get a closer look at her head sculpt right here, which I guess does read very much like the Baroness. You can see at least one of her eye. The other eye is concealed not only by the glasses that she wears, but also the drape of hair that she has in front of it. I do think it looks a lot like Baroness, although normally when I think of Baroness, I think of very high cheekbones, very long face. She doesn't have as much of that, but it still very much looks like the Baroness to me. I like the way as well that they've sculpted the hair, if we can spin this around so you can see the back of it as well. The hair looks quite playful, and while there really isn't a lot of color, I suppose they probably could have added a little bit of blue or something like that to it. I think Baroness is really kind of one of those characters. She's not like a Wonder Woman, where maybe in the comics you would have colored the blue, maybe added a little more of a highlight of blue, maybe to the black hair. I think Baroness generally is kept to quite a very dark hairstyle, so I'm glad to see that they didn't really add any necessary paint there. All the things are nicely detailed on a very simple looking suit in the sense that there isn't any other color to it, but they still managed to put, of course, the Cobra logo there here on the front. It's not just simply painted. They actually took the time to sculpt the emblem there on the front of her bodysuit. And of course, she does have a few little pockets there. She has down below a Cobra logo that's also there as well, and a holstered gun there on the side, which I'm sure she's going to be drawing out in the moment. A few little pockets. There's a couple of bullets there on the side. A little harder than to see. She does also have holster on the side. One standalone knife that she may have to draw again, like the gun. And again, she's also got a little Cobra logo there on the side of her glove. The glove, actually, like the boots, are a little bit more darker in color. So it's not still the all-consistent darker gray that they ended up using here. They found opportunities to add some darker colors. So you got the black there in the belt. They got, of course, the holster there also is black as well. So there's some opportunities to add some darker colors to, again, a character that's generally all dark to start off with. All in all, it's a great looking statue, though. This was really one I was the most excited to get a look at here. As soon as I saw certainly images online early of what they had planned to release when it came to the Baroness statue, I really thought that in hand she would look good. And in fact, now having her in hand, she looks really good. Again, when you get a character like this that's quite dark in costume, getting a display base that's equally dark, you can get a lot of things like details get lost sort of in the mix. But you can see how smartly they colored the display base. Not only the wall, but also the flooring. While still dark, they added some opportunities in there to warm up, lighten it up a little bit by, of course, adding the flames there onto the side. I think that's a nice touch. Adding the slime on the back, that's a nice touch. I think overall she's got a great looking pose too. She tells a story, which is, I think, one of the most important things when it comes to picking up a statue. Sculpt is great, but pose, I think, is also equally good when it comes to statue, because that's the thing you're always going to be drawing your eyes back to when you're having this on the shelf. I think she tells a good, interesting story by seeing the bullets that, of course, bounced off the wall here, by having Baroness what looks to be leaping over the wall and then returning fire. You can kind of play out the scenario in your head without actually seeing an episode of G.I. Joe. Having loved G.I. Joe like my entire life, getting a property like G.I. Joe and putting it in the right hands of a company like Diamond Select, who, let's face it, have been churning out some amazing gallery statues over the years, I think you're going to be getting, as a result of that, a lot of cool looking statues. Most recently, in fact, we had a look at the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes and Timber. If you haven't had the chance, certainly would encourage you guys to go have a look at that review. But that's a statue that I liked so much that it sits quite predominantly in my office, right above, in fact, my desk. And I have a little bit of space next to Snake Eyes and Timber that I think I could probably put the Dear Baroness next to that. One thing, though, that Diamond has been doing consistently good over the years when they've been doing all their gallery statues is not only releasing these at a very affordable price. That's one thing I probably will say a lot when it comes to these gallery statue reviews, is that they consistently put out very affordable statues that if you are looking to get into that collection space and you really don't want to shell out the several hundreds of dollars sometimes it takes to buy these statues, gallery statues being made of PVC plastic is the best way to go. But consistently good, Diamond's been choosing not only the characters for these statues, but choosing appropriate poses. We also had a look at Destro a little bit further back from Snake Eyes and Timber. But again, consistently, they've been putting out good statues with really suitable looking poses. This looks like a pose I would imagine Baroness to be in. Leaping, either escaping from somebody behind her or leaping over the wall, shooting at somebody that's coming towards her. It's a pose that works quite well for a character like the Baroness. And while she's generally a very dark-clad character, they found a very nice line to balance when it came to coloring her. They didn't color a stark black, but rather instead they kind of gave her this very dark, very metallic, almost gunmetal gray. And it works quite well with the light that bounces off of it. Now, while keeping the base also quite dark, they still found opportunities to add the appreciated colors. So adding flames, first of all, was smart from a standpoint. It gives you something also to look at. But it's also a smart way to incorporate some additional colors by adding the warmer oranges. Not only does it promote more of the scene, you can kind of think in your head what's playing out here in front of your eyes, but it also finds a way to incorporate some additional colors. Very nice statue of Baroness. What do you guys think of it? Let me know down below in the comments section. Could you see yourselves picking up the Baroness gallery statue? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Once again, a big thank you to the folks over at Diamond Select that did provide this sample of the brand new G.I. Joe, the Baroness gallery diorama statue that we could have a look at in this review. If you guys enjoyed this video, I hit with a like. If you guys are loving the content you guys are seeing and certainly on board to see more, then make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that you're also turning on the bell notification. If you also have a little bit of time on your hands, you're not trying to conquer the world, popping up also at the very end of this video will be a playlist of other gallery statues I've been looking at from Diamond Select over the years, with many more to follow. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.